Just into us tonight, former President Donald Trump says, you see it here, I'm quoting here, "No one has told me I'm being indicted." You can see it here as he posted to his Truth Social account in just the last couple of hours. All of it, apparently, it seems, a pushback to some of the reporting that suggests perhaps charges could be coming soon in the special counsel investigation into Mr. Trump's alleged mishandling of those classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. Of course, that question is still an open one tonight. If and when the former president and current Republican frontrunner for the race for the White House could face federal charges. I want to get to Garrett Haake. So here we have Donald Trump coming out and saying, nobody's told me I'm going to be indicted. Nobody's told us he's going to be indicted, right, as far as members of the media. He seems to be pushing back on perhaps some of the reporting speculating it could come soon. Lots of things bubbling tonight. Where do we stand?
Lots of things bubbling, Hallie. Let's start in Florida and work our way northeast here, okay? This Miami grand jury today, which we only learned about within the last couple of days, today heard from a top Trump aide very briefly, Taylor Budovich, who was a part of Trump's PAC now, but was really Trump's only political aide for a little while after he left the White House, testified before this Florida grand jury only for about an hour. They had very specific questions for him about this classified documents case and sort of one statement that he had drafted and then decided not to send about whether or not Trump knew he had classified documents. Okay, it's the kind of thing that legal experts look at and say, that's not a very long interview. That doesn't feel like they're, kind of starting this out. This looks like they're buttoning things up. Now, when you take that in connection with all the other little bits and bobs that have started to leak out here about Mark Meadows having potentially testified, something we've not yet confirmed at NBC, and then this reporting that led to a phone call to Donald Trump that led to a tweet about, not having been told directly that he's being indicted, all of this starts to look very familiar. It starts to look like exactly how Mr. Trump and his allies acted just before his indictment was announced in New York. Right down to the last line of the post you just showed, which wasn't highlighted, the idea that Republicans in Congress need to make this their key issue. We have seen Trump signaling on indictments since March in New York,
right,
and now again here. When he thinks he's in trouble, he starts to try to get out in front of it. In this case, denying the indictment has happened, but pivoting to this idea of election interference and trying to rally Republicans to his side, trying to split people basically and say, you're either on my side as a good Republican or on the side of these election interfering liberal prosecutors. It has become a playbook, and we're seeing it play out right in front of our eyes.
It has become in some ways, Garrett, a preemptive defense to news that hasn't even dropped yet. And by the way, maybe, may never.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we don't know what's going on entirely in these grand juries. It's a secret process. They could decide to charge. They could decide not to charge. Yeah. But what we are seeing is a very intentional political response from Donald Trump and his allies to inoculate him against this. I mean, he has made it pretty clear up until now, and we'll see if he's able to continue to do this, that politically speaking, indictments, prosecutions, investigations going back to Bob Mueller's day through now, he casts as political efforts to come after him. He's putting money behind it in a television ad that he released today.
Just going to say,
and so he's
just
preparing that ground. He's preparing that ground for that possibility if and when it comes. He'll be able to make the same political argument he's made to great success so far.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.